So last time we did elements, native elements, which were, there's like 22 of them. When you have a mineral that's a native element, that's when it's an element and a mineral at the same time. Gold is a great example. So we did those ones last time. Sulfides is the next one down the list, and a sulfide is defined as something that is mixed with sulfur and out of this block of elements right here. So any of the metals mixed with sulfur. And there's a couple of exceptions. There's a couple of sulfides that are mixed with arsenic instead of sulfur, but I figure it has an S in there. So
close enough.
It counts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't make the rules. So so anyway, I just brought that to show. All right. So some of the sulfides we're going to talk about. Sulfides are almost always black. Not always, but they're almost always black. And because they're mixed with the metal, they tend to be opaque. They tend to be dense and heavy. There are sulfides that are transparent or translucent. Proustite is one of them. It's silver and sulfur. And I have a microscopic one, and I just lost it. I should have turned this up the other way. Okay. Ooh. Right. So I'm going to turn this around. And see if I can find it.
Oh, I'll catch it on the...
Right there. Okay, so that little bleb, which is about 1 millimeter across, is proustite. Proustite is silver and sulfur mixed together.
Oh, wow.
When it's exposed to light, humidity, and or air, it often just turns black. And so I see proustite crystals. I was actually looking at one in the Tucson show a few years ago. The guy had brought in about 6 or 8 of them from Australia. It was a brand new find that they just found, and he had all of them from this one little pocket. And the smallest one was about 1 inch tall and about a pencil in diameter, and it was transparent. It looked like red glass. You could see right through it, and it was this deep blood red. It's just beautiful. And I thought, oh, well, how much is that? This was the smallest of them, and it was the only one that wasn't sold, and it was $25,000.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
too rich for my blood.
well, to buy something that's $25,000 that you know is going to alter and become black eventually, that's quite the expense.
Yeah.
So
looking for something more expensive.
Right? Yeah. It's like, do you have anything bigger?
And you said that was proustite?
Proustite.
And it's from...
I'm sorry, no, that's perargyrite.
Oh, perargyrite.
Perargyrite and proustite are almost indistinguishable, especially in hand samples. And that's from Tintic.
Oh, is it?
Proustite, not
Awesome.
prostate.
Not prostate.
That's
Proustite.
a whole
Proust.
Proustite. Oh, well, that's a whole
And
different animal.
and what did you say the metal was with it? Copper?
Copper
and
no, silver and
silver.
Silver and sulfur.
Okay.
All right. I want to put that away now, so I'm not blinded the whole time. All right. So other ones that are very, very important to us, and these are all metals that we mine for various things. We have uses for all of them. Obviously, the galena is a lead mineral. In fact, that's probably the chemical formula for it is PBS. So it's very simple to remember.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah,
exactly. Public broadcasting.
Well, PB is lead, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's lead and sulfur. So that rate is just over 50% lead in that, and the rest is sulfur.
Wow.
So Shannon picked that one up.
Okay.
Wow.
He can't hardly lift it.
I'd have to stand over top of it to lift it.
Need another shoulder. So
I haven't taken it out of that cabinet in years because it is so darn heavy. As I recall, it weighs 96 pounds. So this weighs like 22 pounds.
That's straight lead.
Yeah, this is virgin lead. So this is what we mined to get this. Virgin lead is lead that was smelted and poured before the first atomic bomb. So there is 0 cesium in this, and they use it for research. So,
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
this is from the USS something that was sunk in Pearl Harbor. I can't remember which ship it was.
So any lead that you find now will have cesium?
Any lead that's been smelted will have a trace amount of cesium in it because it's just naturally floating around in our atmosphere, and it's a measurable amount.
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
So when you need, and cesium's radioactive, and so if you need a lead shield that is 100% radiation free, you have to have virgin lead. So this came from the University of Utah. They had a nuclear reactor up there with a clean room, and the clean room was from the USS something, I can't remember, and the walls were over a foot thick of lead, and then they had a copper shielding and a zinc shielding on the inside, and they would put things and people in there at different times to measure radiation and how much radiation we naturally have in our bodies, and for research stuff. I don't know what they used it for. And then the new president came in and said, we can't have a nuclear reactor, and had it dismantled and destroyed. And this is one of the blocks that came from that.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, very hard to come by. The nuclear reactor and the clean room were worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, but he didn't think it was worth the risk for the liability. So that's lead. Chalcopyrite, actually we're going to jump over here to scutterudite. This is scutterudite. Scutterudite is...
Hard to pronounce. Mostly.
It's cobalt sulfide.
Oh, okay.
And what do we use cobalt for? We mine cobalt as fast as we can nowadays.
Nuclear medicine studies.
Well, okay, yeah, but that's probably just a small amount. It's used in the manufacturing of electric vehicles, the batteries.
okay.
You have to have cobalt for the batteries and for your phones. So, and that one's heavy too. That one's like 45 pounds. So, not as heavy as that one.
Where do you find
That is from Morocco.
this one?
Yeah. Now there's huge cobalt mines in China, Canada, and Morocco.
Okay.
So, all right. So this one is a very, very important one. I'll pass this one around.
Okay.
Do some squats with that thing.
Jeez, you don't
It's not
have
nearly
to
as heavy as these other ones.
Hold together chair.
So what's that one?
That one is chalcocite. This is one of the chief ores of copper that we mine around the world. We're going to go over a bunch of copper minerals here because they're all very important.
And that's called what again now?
Bornite.
Oh, chalcocite? No,
I'm
bornite.
sorry, chalcocite.
Chalcocite.
I was looking at the bornite. Yeah. So that one is from Butte, Montana, and it's already been assayed, and it's 80% copper, 20% sulfur.
So, is that the copper that you're seeing in there too?
No.
Oh.
Is that just a pyrite of some
Yeah,
sort?
yeah. Any of the metals you see on there are probably chalcopyrite or pyrite, just pyrite.
Okay.
That's a fun one. There are people who collect just ores. All right, so sticking with copper for a minute, we're going to go around the room. This is bornite. If you turn it in the light, you'll see some iridescent colors in there. Bornite is often iridescent, and this leaf going up through here is native silver.
Hey.
And that one is from Centennial.
Wow.
From the Centennial Eureka?
I've been going to Centennial for a long time, since before Spence owned it, actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You would never find that on it now, would
No,
you?
oh heavens, no.
And so bornite's a copper sulfur mix?
Copper sulfur.
Okay.
Very cool.
There's not going to be a quiz, is there?
No,
Ha
no. These are just some of these are just fun to
I
look
mean, I
at.
failed my urine test.
Oh
Sorry,
my
I'm
God.
on one today. Yeah, I do.
Here we
I'm
go.
hoping I get a contract.
If you wait a few minutes, I'll give you a redo.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to pass this one around with the chalcocite. This is chalcocite as well, mixed with some other copper minerals. I'm not sure what's in there. The chemist that said
Wow.
he analyzed
I gotta
it
put my glasses
sent me a list of every copper mineral species known to
Yeah, go ahead.
on Earth, which is like 1,000. He said they're all in there, and I said no, they're not.
Awesome.
So it's like try again. That's actually a piece of petrified wood that's been replaced with copper minerals.
Wow. So is there such a thing as rock species?
Yeah, well, so bornite's a species, galena is a species, chalcocite, chalcopyrite, all quartz, those are all mineral species.
Oh. That's interesting.
So this seam in the middle is the silver.
Yep, that little fin, that leaf, yep.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a
I still
good
don't know
find.
what
That was the
these
bornite.
things.
Dr. Erickson up at the U wanted to break it out so he could study the silver.
No, Peterson. Wasn't it Eric? Peterson?
Eric Peterson,
Yeah,
that's
right,
it,
that's
yeah,
right.
Eric Peterson, yeah.
And this is the one you said was,
Petrified wood
Petrified
replaced with copper
wood.
minerals, yeah.
and it's the
Chalcocite,
chalcocite.
yeah.
So would that be considered a limonite? Limonite? Maybe I'm getting the word wrong. No, not a limonite.
Oh.
Uh,
No, a
It's certainly not a
limonite.
Limonite.
either.
Limonite.
No, limonite is not a sulfide,
oh, okay.
it's
So it can't be a
it's a
sulfite.
hydrous sulfate.
Okay.
Just when I
And it's actually-
the ites, they talk about ites.
It's not a
and
mineral either.
eights.
Limonite is just a term for any basically rusted iron mineral.
Okay.
So, all right. Let's see other
We
copper.
got one like this, King.
We had so many of them. Okay. All right. So then silver minerals, they're highly. Oh, here's a whole tray of copper minerals. I'm going to pass these ones around. So these ones are. This is pyrite. You can see the pyrite underneath there, and it's got a coating of bornite on there. And if you look, you'll see some little hexagonal crystals standing up. Those are chalcocite crystals. Chalcocite crystals are very rare. Usually you just get chalcocite massive like this. So this is from Butte, Montana. This is from the Leonard mine. This is from probably 1,000, 1,500 feet down. So pass that one around.
We'll just be downstairs.
This is another one. I'm going to pass it around. Be very gentle with this one. This one is a nargite. You can see the blades of a nargite standing up.
And enargite is another copper
Yep,
mix.
these are all copper minerals.
And so the name of it, or the species, whatever, just depends on the mix.
Yeah, the ratio of copper and sulfur together.
Okay.
Some of these are going to be copper, silver,
Beautiful nargite.
sulfides, or mixes like that. But,
Okay.
So what makes the difference between just regular pyrite and chalcopyrite?
well, chalcopyrite, chalco means copper. So if you have pyrite, it's iron sulfide. If you have chalcopyrite, it's copper iron sulfide.
Okay, and this is chalco.
That's chalco, yeah.
And it
Well, you have
doesn't-
pyrite with bornite, and then the chalcopyrites, or the chalcosites, are the blades that are standing up.
Okay.
Right, so this is a really, really rare one. You almost never see this unless you're a species collector looking for it. This is a mineral called jurleite, and it's also from Butte.
As opposed to girlyite.
That's so cool.
I thought you would get a chuckle.
So you're not the only one.
Yes. Here's what that one is.
We're going on tour.
Oh.
Yeah, jurleite.
Girlyite.
It's been tight.
So these are cobalite crystals. Cobalite is famous from Butte and a few other big copper mines. These are great cobalite crystals. Often cobalite is very iridescent in color. This one has a pseudomorphing over the outside of probably chalcocite. Yeah, those are very, very, very valuable. Be very, very, very gentle.
And the cobalite is another copper
Copper
mix.
mineral, yep.
Copper sulfur mix.
All right, this one I'm not going to pass around. So these are cobalite crystals. You can see the hexagonal shape of the blades. It's a book, so they kind of fanned out like this, like that. It's got a coating of probably chalcopyrite on them, but these are probably the largest cobalite crystals in the world. And they have been partially pseudomorphed, maybe entirely pseudomorphed, to a mineral called batectinite.
Where did that come from?
All of these that I'm showing right now are from Butte.
I can't. The mass on this thing, for as small as that is.
Yeah, well, it's mostly copper. So yeah. All right, so that's all of those. All right, now we're going to move to.
Is there any of this like the copper they get out of Kennecott?
No, Kennecott, what they're mining is a copper porphyry, which
okay.
means they're well below the sulfide zones. The sulfide zones are way up high, and when you get as deep as they are, they're way past that. So what they're mining right now looks like crumbly granite that just has copper mixed in with it.
Oh, okay.
Although, just a few years ago, they hit a huge pot made of copper balls about that big.
Really?
Wow. There's one downstairs.
I should have known.
Well, I have people in low
You
So, all right. Let's see. We covered all the coppers. Okay, we did gleams. Sphalerite is one of my favorite sulfides of all time. So that's what we're going to go collect next month at the end of the month for the trunk or treat. Is the sphalerite.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go after the sphalerite and quartzite. And this is a piece that I had cut into a sphere.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
So it's kind of cool. It is now you can get quartzite crystals and sphalerite crystals that stand on their own up to. I've even seen some that were 2 inches. You can get big crystals of this stuff, but not always do they.
Oh wow, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
real pretty.
So.
Mine
Yeah,
is
sorry.
considerably smaller.
Yeah, when they blocks big enough that we couldn't lift, that we couldn't carry.
Now, sometimes you see them say gem quality sphalerite. What do they mean
So
by
gem
that?
sphalerite, you can get the sphalerite that's kind of a honey color that comes from Spain. I have a faceted gemstone that's probably 5 or 6 carats from there. It's like I said, it's a honey color. There was a sphalerite that came from the bog mine of American Fork Canyon that was very limey green.
Really?
And there's a guy that has faceted stones of that. He would not share one with me, so we're no longer.
Most of it's just a blackish almost.
Most of it does turn black, and a lot of these minerals will turn black once you remove them from their environment because of the oxygen and humidity, and they'll turn black. Like I said, like the proustite, these ones, we're talking about that 1-inch crystal. Is like, I'm not paying $25,000 for a crystal that's going to turn black.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. Yeah, can you depreciate that?
That's it 5 years.
Right.
So what's the metal with the sulfur for the sphalerite?
In this case, it is tungsten.
Tungsten?
That doesn't sound right. Zinc. It is zinc. Yes.
Okay.
Zinc. Zinc sulfide. Yes. Okay.
Jackie Cocolova says hi.
You get an A+.
I learned it from
Have to
him
take
when
the
we were
test.
out there
Yeah.
looking for those guys. So.
So, all right. I should have done the cobalt when we talked about that. So here's cobalt crystals. I'll pass these ones around. These ones are from here in Utah. Yeah.
And cobalt is
Cobaltite is the mineral of cobalt
with
Yeah, we
sulfur.
have-
with sulfur.
Okay.
Yes. All these are
Crystals.
with sulfur.
Okay.
Yeah, got from Rick. It's
Oh.
just like that.
So we've taken people out there. In fact, last weekend I was out there with a group of people.
And where was this at?
The U.S. mine in Gold Hill. Nobody found anything like that.
Only you.
There was that one find from that one guy earlier this spring, was it? He broke open the,
Oh yeah, and
And
broke
he
them all up. Yeah.
broke them all up, and people were buying some pieces.
Tony found one of his discards up there.
Did he?
Yeah.
Ah,
So
he's good.
I got a piece from my brother, and it was cobalite with druzy pyrite on it.
Cobalite.
Mm-hmm.
Cobalite's different.
What's that?
Cobalite's different. That's
No, what was this? I mean,
cobaltite.
Cobaltite,
So,
yeah.
Is it from here?
no, it's from Mexico.
Okay, so the cobaltite from Mexico is associated with chalcopyrite, pyrite. Most certainly quartz and probably calcite.
Yeah, because the one that I have, he said they call it a druzy pyrite on top of
Yeah,
it.
sure.
So it's kind of cool looking.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Chalcopyrite. That one right there. You can pick that one up and turn it in the light. It's got flashes of color on there. It gives that.
Oh, this one's not bad.
No.
I thought that was going to be really heavy.
I went up to the sea.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's iron pyrite with anywhere between 3 and 30% copper in it. When it gets high enough, 30% copper, they start mining it for copper. They don't like to mine sulfides like this because it produces too much hydrogen sulfide gas, which they're required to now capture and do stuff with. So make sure sulfuric
Makes it
acid-
more expensive to mine it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here is one. This one is a copper iron sulfide, and it is the only one I know of that's magnetic.
Oh,
So this is peritite. That is from Kennecott.
that's really cool.
What is those, like you'll go into these rock shops and the magnetic
Magnetic
braces? Is that what it
The
is?
bracelets and the beads
Yeah.
and the eggs, those little rattlesnake eggs. Stuff. Yeah, it's not a mineral. It's a ceramic that they've just put a lot of iron in it and
Oh, really?
magnetized it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Ah,
They used to melt down the iron ore and pour it into those shapes and stuff and sell it, but now they can just mass produce them in ceramic and put enough iron in it that they're it's
Well,
just that.
that's not fair.
Right?
Well, that's cool.
It's not even him alike anymore. It's just him a fake.
It's Leverite.
Yeah. They're fun to play with, you know.
Well, that's cool.
Well, for kids, because she was playing with the bracelets.
Yeah, when we had the rattlesnake eggs, we'd always have the big ones at the rock shop, and kids would come in and play with them. And I thought they were cool until I had to listen to them all day long. And then it was just like
These are probably ones that people think, I found a meteorite.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a brassy colored meteorite. All right, one I did not have that's very important is greenite. Greenite is a cadmium sulfide. It's usually just found as crusts, but and I have some from here in Utah. I just couldn't find it. So it's usually a green or a yellow crust. It's very nondescript, non-exciting.
And what's the metal with the greenakite?
Cadmium.
Cadmium. Okay.
Yep. All right, here is nickeline. The anabergite is the green crust on the outside. The nickeline is the inside. And what kind of metal do you think that one is?
Nickel.
Good job.
A+.
Well done.
So if you have
Deceptively heavy.
minerals end in ite, 8 and 8, ite, all 4.
Yeah. So ites, you can have minerals like galena that don't end in any of the common things.
Aforementioned.
Diamond. Yeah. Eights are, and there's really no difference between an ite and an 8.
Okay.
So it's just the way they spell them. So.
So sulfate, sulfite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and a lot of them, the ites is just to distinguish it from something else. Like we call the Israelites and the Nephites. You know, we have, they're just named after whatever, and so.
And they're not
ites.
minerals.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they're not minerals. No. Oh, they might be now.
Well, I mean, geological
It could be now, yeah.
I've always said I want to be
Oh, that's
buried
cool.
in a vat of silica gel, blue silica gel, so I can come back as a blue opal.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pressurized. I don't know how long that takes, but there's a company in Bountiful that'll do it.
Really?
Like with that
Yeah,
being
they
the
do.
purpose, the
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Put you in a vat of blue gel and
Silica
Yeah.
gel.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they also
Gel.
do mummification, like traditional mummification. They do
What do they call it? The
cryogenics.
society or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they are up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a pyramid. Their office is a pyramid, so
Mhm.
a glass pyramid.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're
You ought to see these things that we
Yeah. I've never been inside, but I've talked to them. on the phone.
Cryogenics, yeah.
Yeah, we get these things that shipped, and guys are going, this has, I said, it's liquid nitrogen. They said, well, what is it? I said, it's a head. They're going, what? I said, they think they're going to come back again
Yeah.
from this on
Oh,
a
yeah.
different body.
Just cryo frozen, whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
they
they're gonna
really
have a
do.
headache at
All
the
right,
very least.
cinnabar is
Hey.
Hey, I got some of that.
mercury and sulfur. That's the pink in there. It's in an agate. This is from Merkur, where they used to mine lots of.
But you can also get it on calcite and everything, right?
Cinnabar, you can get it on a lot of different things. So this is cinnabar from Turkey, which is a very large cinnabar deposit. So that's all cinnabar. This is all mercury, something or another. So don't eat it.
How much of it do we not eat?
Any of it.
Oh. Uh-oh.
So this is mercury that you get off of that. Sometimes you'll find cinnabar from California that's so rich you can take it out of the ground. It's coated in little droplets of liquid
Oh,
mercury.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So there's an old USGS publication about Merkur, and the miners talk about having to wade through waist deep puddles of mercury to get back to the working faces, and they would pump it out and it would just fill back up. And so
And so what happened to them?
yeah, right. I'm sure nothing good. But yeah, anyway, I'm sure they're all long gone because that was like in 1905 or something.
Unless it gives you prolonged life, which I
No,
don't think that's Mercury's
Absolute
MO.
opposite. So,
You know, you'll see people talk about, oh, after you handle that stuff, you got to wash your hands. And
yeah.
my brother said, no, you don't. He said, it's tied up. You're
Mhm.
not going to, it's
Well, this form is not.
right.
But as a kid, I used to carry a little ball of that, probably a little smaller than that, in my pocket because it would clean the coins. You know, you put a coin in that and run it around, and it takes all the oxidation off, and you have these beautiful shiny coins.
Hmm.
So,
Lynn said she lived in Turkey at one point and wished that she had been into rocks at that, so she knew what to go get.
I wish you had too, because you'd have samples for us. All right, let's see. This is another fun one. This is
Oh, wow.
arsenic sulfide, so the chemical formula for it is ASS. That's the red. The yellow is AS2S3, so it's twice as bad. Don't lick it. Actually, when I took mineralogy in college, the mineralogy guy, the professor, he said, actually it was geology. He said, you can't eat it. This is highly toxic. He had it in bags and wouldn't let anybody touch it. And I was like, it can't possibly be that toxic. I mean, they mine it without any precautions. They're not wearing gear or anything. And so I went to the chemistry professor and I said, how much of ASS and AS2S3 do we have to consume to be contaminated with arsenic? There is no limit. The arsenic, you can chew on pounds of that and it'll just go through your system because it's sulfide. Your body does not absorb it at all. Now, if you ground it into a fine powder and snort it about 3 pounds, you'd get sick.
Probably from a couple of reasons.
Right?
Other than toxicity.
The arsenic, yeah. So when people say it's one of the deadliest minerals in the world, I just laugh at them.
Wow.
Yeah, it is like one of the not deadliest
So
minerals.
when you like read a murder mystery or watch a show or whatever, and somebody's been killed with arsenic, is it because it's been liquefied?
Well, so
concentrated?
this is arsenic sulfide. If you
Yeah,
process
found
this
out.
and take the sulfur out of it, and you wind up with just the arsenic, which is a gray submetal. It's very dull. It's nondescript. It's kind of ugly, actually. Then that is very toxic.
Oh, okay.
So it does not take 3 pounds of that to kill you.
So is the yellow your sulfur and the orange is the
yellow
mix,
is
or
arsenic is orpiment, and the red is realgar. The red is slowly altering to the yellow.
oh, okay? And
But
so
they're bad,
the
So they're not dangerous.
so the host rock that it's on is
Salt.
the
It's just limestone that it's on.
it's limestone
Yeah,
that it's on.
it's almost
Okay.
all. The only limestone really is this little gray spot right there.
Okay. So it's realgar and orpiment.
Realgar and orpiment.
Okay.
And it goes through a series. So you start out with realgar. It alters to an oranger mineral called pararealgar, and that alters to orpiment.
Okay.
I thought it was sulfur and arsenic.
Well, that's what all three of those are. They're just different combinations.
Oh, okay.
There are different ratios of arsenic to sulfur.
Oh, in the realgar
So
and
glad
the
there's no
orpiment
test.
Yeah.
and the pararealgar.
Yeah. All right. Stibnite.
That stuff
I have
is
some of that.
cool.
Yeah. So many chemists, mineralogists, and people of medicine will tell you that the antimony in this is one of the most toxic elements there is. It's not radioactive. So, but again, it's a sulfide. You could eat this and chew it up. It'd be bad for your teeth, but it's not toxic. So
And you'd ruin a really good specimen.
you would ruin a really good specimen. So I'm going to pass around, hold it from here, not hold it from the crystals. The crystals are as fragile as they look.
Wow.
I mean, you kind of want to say it's
Kind of like a Superman cave, but metallic.
I mean, the one I have is like this big.
Mhm.
It looks like a little
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
sea urchin.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I've seen specimens. Where did we see that big specimen?
Denver?
Was it Denver? We were at a museum somewhere, and they had a specimen that is about this big around,
Wow.
and the needles are about this tall.
Yeah, these ones are like,
Yeah.
Did you go to Denver this last?
Mhm.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
He couldn't go, so we just yanked out my dad's plants. He wanted to have yanked out. So.
That's a good substitute, right?
No.
All right. Pyrite and marcasite are both sulfides. This is iron sulfide. Marcasite is also iron sulfide. They're chemically identical but structurally different. So the molecules to make a cube will put together differently than the molecules that make marcasite. Marcasite actually does have a little bit of water in its structure, and so it winds up being a completely different mineral, but chemically the exact same thing. It's called dimorphism. So, and there's lots of pyrites and marcasites in that cabinet that you can look at later.
now marcasites are what now?
They're the same thing as pyrite.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
different crystal structure.
So the color tends to look the same.
The
And
color looks the same, and often in hand samples you can't really tell the difference.
Wow.
So just know that pyrite is way more common.
That's cool.
So
It's just interesting to me that the shapes that these things grow in.
yeah,
It's like how, I mean, what properties is it that makes them be a cube or a crystal shape or a, what you
It's
just picked up?
temperature
shape?
and pressure.
That's
Oh,
it.
really? That's it?
Yep, temperature and pressure. So pyrite has one of the most diverse mineral habits there is. So you can have cubes, you can have wires, you can have these little straw things that do these little bent square with 90-degree angles on them. They're really cool. So it can make, it's like 120 or 125 different habits that it does.
Oh, really?
But and it's all has everything to do with temperature and pressure.
So the one that they call a worm pyrite that people call it, is that a chalcopyrite or a pyrite?
No, it's actually probably pyrite and marcasite. So the ones from Ohio are almost all marcasite. The ones from Russia are almost all pyrite.
And that's the ones that they have. The Russians give it their own name though.
Yeah.
I forget what they call it.
I don't know what they call it.
But
it's the same.
we got the one. So the ones from Mexico, but the one from Mexico they will have like a rainbow effect to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's iridescent. So any of these metals will oxidize. They will get an oxidation. Basically it's rust that coats on the surface, and if it has enough oxygen, enough water, enough of another mineral in there, it will turn rainbow colors. So in fact, that'll bring us to this one. I'm going to pass it on. This one is super valuable too, and if you turn it around the light and move around, you'll see there's iridescent colors on there. This is, it's that. I don't know how you say that. Bertha, you're right. I don't know. This is an iron. It's an iron sulfide, but there's something else in it. Antimony? I think it's an iron antimony mineral. So it could be an iron arsenate.
Remember the stibbolite that can actually be in darker form too.
Oh yeah, it'll
it can
oxidize
almost
black.
be black.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Judy commented that it's amazing how they look like they're polished.
So is some of that stibbolite? It almost looks like it's. I think it's stibbolite, but it feels lighter. But that's what stibbolite is.
Well, stibnite and stilbite are two different things.
Okay.
They're two different types of minerals.
Stibnite is like real fragile.
This is stibnite.
Oh, that's stibnite. So stibbolite.
Stilbite is a zeolite mineral that comes from India, and it can be white, red, green,
Black.
black. Yeah, but it's very glossy, and they're very blocky crystals.
Okay. And it's kind of like light.
Oh yeah, it's light in weight. Yes.
Yeah.
That's really pretty. Look.
Wow. Arsenopyrite.
I don't know where to grab it. Okay.
Hey.
This is from
I
Mexico.
totally missed everything you said before because he did something.
He was asking me about something else.
He did something that made me
So
laugh.
this one's neat because it's arsenopyrite, but it's got a big topaz crystal
Look
sticking
at
off of it.
that.
Here,
That's pretty cool.
that is gorgeous.
What was this one again? This is the Berthiorite.
I mean, look at the colors.
That one is from Portugal. Yeah.
That is a weird language to translate.
And that's-
Get some of the
there's
sparkle
these
in
quartz
that.
in there too, huh?
Yeah, that's a nice little quartz crystal.
Was there quartz and topaz, or is it
No,
topaz?
it's a topaz crystal.
Oh, that's
That
topaz.
topaz?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So how do you tell? Just from the formation?
Mm-hmm. That and the tag said topaz.
That's what I need. I need the tags. I keep telling him we gotta label ours.
And
Came up with all kinds of
arsenopyrite,
systems.
what's the mix on that?
Well, as it's insinuated,
Arsenic
and iron pyrite mixed together.
with the sulfur.
Yep. So this is one that's from here in Utah. Yeah, you've been there. So this has got molybdenite in it. Molybdenite is the ore of molybdenum, which is an element. But we use molybdenum for a number of different things. X-ray tubes, hardening steel.
Yep.
Targets.
Yep. We use it a lot for lube. If you have litho lube or lithium lube, moly lube, then it's made up with molybdenum. Molybdenum has a hardness of 1, so it's super soft. It's platy, so it tends to slide really well. So it's great for garage door lubricant, automobile lubricant. So. All right, this one is also from here in Utah. This is one that, thanks to Scott, I was able to go find.
Oh, hey! Yeah, I know this guy.
So this one is got an interesting name. It's called Argentiferous galena. Argentiferous is Latin for for silver.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Argentum, meaning that it's galena that's full of silver. So this silver ran as much as 50 to 60% silver. So that was when they mined some of the highest ever mined in the
And
world.
where did this come out of?
The Tintic Standard mine out in Eureka.
Oh, wow.
But they also got galena like that from up in Park
That's
City.
cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Often you can tell because Argentiferous galena tends to have a blue cast to it. Not
Okay.
always, but I've been told that that's not right. That's not true.
Like when you compare this galena with that galena, you can tell the one that has. I mean, it just looks different.
Yeah.
Is what someone told me once. Like the cubic structure kind of breaks down.
Yep.
It becomes its own thing.
So argentiferous meaning so it got some silver in it?
Yep. So it's still the mineral galena, but in the molecules, mixed in with the molecules, not into the galena molecules, but in between them, is a lot of silver, a real lot of silver. This is what they were mining as our high-grade silver ore.
Wow.
So, all right, do we cover them all? I think we did.
What's this one?
That's mine.
That's hers. So this,
That's from
I got
Goldfield.
one, so.
this
No,
one, I'm not going
that's
to pass
from,
this one around. A little
Centennial.
sneeze on
Oh,
that.
from
those will
Centennial.
all go away. These are
Oh yeah,
hairs.
we got ours is from
What?
Centennial.
This is Jamesonite.
Jameson.
Yeah, and this is from Park City. You can see it's just a mat of hair on
That's
there.
what they use to make whiskey.
What is it?
Jamesonite. No. This is a silver something. I can't remember. There's something else in there too, but I can't remember what it is. So, all right. Any questions?
Lynn says, I have a coal dollar from Sparta, Illinois. A coal miner friend gave it to me when I lived there. What creates the difference in the pyrite?
So the coal dollars, or coal suns as they often call them, are pyrite. Some of them are made up of a little bit of marcasite, so they're a mix of the two. But most of them are just pyrite that formed, and because they're formed in layers of shell, they can't grow up and down. So all they can do is grow out, and so you get these discs that form in between the layers of shell. It's carbonic shell. It's what they mine for coal.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, there's a big one up there in that cabinet.
Very cool.
So, top shelf. So, oh, I didn't do the millerite. Here is millerite. So don't touch the rock itself, just touch the base. You can see there's hairs in there. Those are millerite. Millerite is a nickel sulfide. It's green because it has another mineral over the top of it that it's pseudomorphing to, which is called jamborite.
I've got a loaf of bread that's got some millerite in it.
Oh, wow, that's
Throw
cool.
that out.
Oh wow.
That's really cool.
That's cool. James Knight from Park City.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good find. Did you go up there last weekend?
No, I wasn't.
What was this one? This was the
Miller.
millerite.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the metal in this one?
Oh, okay.
Nickel.
Nickel.
Yeah, we went up them too, but wow, what a hike.
Yeah. Yeah, there's bowling balls. So
Yeah.
Step on one and it'll roll you to the bottom.
We were at the U.S. mine, and there was 3 great big rocks. I'm like, oh, it was pretty solid and stable. I stepped on the middle one. All of them. It went down on my face. Boom.
You did the snowboarding at the Centennial Eureka for that
Oh
one
yeah.
rock, except you didn't stay up on the board.
There was no board involved.
There was no board involved at all.
And so the hairs are the millerite?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay.
Coated with jamborite. All right. That's it.
Wow.
Awesome.
Thank
pretty
you.
cool. Thank you.
Awesome.
That was cool.
I think I covered it all. Did I get it right?
What's
Yeah,
what's this
this
one
is
right
all
here? I
cool.
don't remember that.
Oh, this one? Oh, I don't think I passed this one around. This one is argentite, which is a silver
I was gonna
sulfide.
say
It
argent.
starts out as acanthite deep in the ground, and when you bring it to the surface, it alters to argentite.
I mean, really, rocks are fascinating if you think about it, because you know everybody just thinks a rock's a rock, but how they get formed.
Thinking about
Yeah. It'd be cool to go down the Grand Canyon on the Colorado River and see, you know, the different.
Yeah, there's no minerals there. It's just layers of rock. And, well,
That's
that's
some
exciting.
nice.
Yeah, they have some nice.
Some good nice.
I was gonna do that for my 6th
Some
birthday,
nice,
but
nice.
Some good nice.
too expensive. Like $6,000 per person.
Do what?
To ride the Colorado through
To ride to Colorado.
You're kidding me.
From Lee's Ferry down to what used to be
What
Lake
does it
Mead.
say?
Get one of those ducky tubes and jump in.
No, no.
They can't stop you. Yeah, they can't stop you. I guess they can't.
Well, or you could do half, but it's Angel Bright
Well,
Trail.
yeah.
So
Oh.
you're hiking up or hiking down.
That
You're
really
welcome,
is
Lynn.
put me in the grave.
Thanks,
you.
thanks, guys. Thanks for watching with us.